All right, I'm live. Hi, guys. It's Tori Magoo, which is my real name's Tori Chrisman, and today is April 23rd, which is it's almost April 24th. I had to check on what time it is. Anyway, I was in Scientology for 30 years, and in 2000, I woke up and escaped out. I didn't know I was going to escape out. I thought it was just going to be leaving. Hi, Wolf Machine. I thought it was just going to be leaving, but it ended up, they chased me all the way across the country. And by the time I went from LAX to Tampa, Florida, I'd become an activist. That's what happened. Good evening, Arlene, Nancy Drew, Miss Annie. Hi, all you guys. Thank you for coming on. So tonight, we're basically going to talk about, hi, cats. I'm going to wait just a second till a few more people get on. Hi, Dee. I hope you guys had a good day today. Today was what? Wednesday, right? I got to look at my watch. Tuesday. I'm like, it's so weird. Princess Honey Badger. All right. Hi. And hi, Carrie at 101. You're listening, but oh, wait, I'm listening, but I can't comment because I'll be walking my dog. All right. Fair enough. That's good. That's good. Enjoy your walk. Um, Hi, Sharon from Mid Michigan and Fiona and Rin. Hello. Hello to everyone. So, anyway, I'm going to start telling you guys about this. Hi, Liddy. Um, well, let me wait a second because I just realized I was supposed, I'm supposed to give you a few minutes. Nadia, good. I'm glad you guys are coming. Today was a wild day. It was really, Jesse, hi. Yeah, that swatting took so long. I mean, it was really amazing because I just happened to, I don't know, I was doing different things. And then I thought, well, let me just check on D.O.A. and see how he's doing. I thought he was here in LA. And it turns out he's in San Francisco and he'd just been swatted. I love it. Thank you. Please hit the like button when you come in. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder. So anyway, it had just happened when I came on, and he was kind of over it and doing well. But yeah, it was in San Francisco. But later I went back and watched the whole thing, and it was unbelievable. He was just sitting in a chair. I've picketed exactly where he was. It's in front of the Church of Scientology in San Francisco. And he was just sitting on a kind of a rainbow chair in a frock outfit because he was being, I guess, a minister. And he was just sitting there, and all of a sudden, up come the police. And he just said, I'm getting swatted. And he laid down, and they immediately came and really, really angrily handcuffed him. And he said, it's really hurting me. You're really hurting me. And anyway, long story short, they went in and out of Scientology. The police did. And he kept saying, what's the deal with you going in and out of Scientology? And unhandcuff me, you know, excuse me, because apparently someone had said he had a gun, but they frisked him and could see he didn't have a gun. So as he said, then it's time to let me go. But they really didn't for a long time. I mean, it took a long time, and it was painful, because you could see he was in pain. And they just, I even said, like, take off the handcuffs. And what are you standing around waiting for? If you know he doesn't have a gun, you know, the only, excuse me, the only thing I could think of is that Scientology was obviously feeding them some kind of lies. Because apparently for the first time ever, and believe me, I was in on some of their stuff, and they always covered their tracks, so you could never trace back to the Church of Scientology. And apparently this time they said it's the Church of Scientology calling about this guy has a gun, so they're admitting they're creating these false swatting. So Scientology, I don't know what you're thinking, but it's like, hello, he didn't have a gun. And then to have all that abuse and it's on videotape is really not okay. So it gets you to, for me, I think, okay, and they want to be thought of as a real religion. It's like, how does that work out? When you're intentionally harming someone, intentionally, because they know they're going to come and handcuff him and everything else. And they know he doesn't have a gun. So who do you think is going to think you're crazy? Everyone that sees this and everyone that sees every single video about it, because you are. And you've been acting crazy for years. And it's like, you've got to, chill out and just figure out a different way to do this, because you're not doing Scientology. I don't know what you're doing, but it's not Scientology. It's not the Scientology that I learned when we first got in. Excuse me. I mean, Hubbard had his weird things. He did. There was no question about it. But it wasn't this kind of stuff. This is like really just absolutely strange, I think. What do you guys think? Do you think it's strange? I think it is. And it's like, it's got to be very bad PR in San Francisco, in LA. I doubt if the police like it. Yeah, swatting like that gets people killed. It's way different than any other false cause. It's true. And so I worry about it. I really do. It's planned. They gave the cops a picture of D.O.A. from a previous day. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you. Yeah, if anybody has more information, please add it, because I didn't know that at all, Michelle and Reese. That they already had a picture of him from the previous day. See, that's what's tricky about live stream, because they know where you're going. Because I'm pretty sure probably was talking about it, that he was going up to San Francisco. YRB says, unfortunately, it seems the San Francisco Police Department needs to not be Scientology's pit bull, or they look bad. It's true, they do. And that's true for any police department. When you're siding with Scientology, like here in LA, most of the swattings, at least with anything to do with the protesters, have been all around the Church of Scientology. So it's like, go figure who called. Yeah, suing Scientology. Excuse me, I'm really sorry. I have a very bad frog in my throat. I'm going to the doctor in I think next week I'm going. And hopefully we'll get something fixed on this throat. Not sure when the photo was from, but San Francisco org knew he'd be there. Yeah, because he says it. You know what I mean? That I watch all these guys and they tell where they're going. And, when it comes to swatting, I wouldn't tell them. I wouldn't, because then they can plan ahead. It's a federal crime and it should be reported as such. To make a swatting call, Fall Creek Police report bomb threat. That's a good point. That's a really good point, YRB, because I didn't know it was a federal crime, but it should be. It certainly should be. And I worry about him. I do. This is like, I think, his 8th swatting or something. And he's had a lot of them. And he told them that while he was there. He decided to go to San Francisco because of the swatting of another protester, Ashley Andrews. Oh, okay. Yeah, he mentioned that in the things. I just didn't know she was swatted. He mentioned that he was going up there for that. But I just worry about him. I do. Do you think it'd be proactive to call and just let the police know you're going to protest at a location? It just depends on. I'm not really sure. That's a good question. I mean, before I would have said yes. Before, we always did. we would call and let security know, stuff like that. Because, then you have some protection on your side. Not much, because here in LA, they pretty much side with Scientology because I think they get paid by them. Why does Scientology keep getting away with the false calls? Money. That's what I think. That's my opinion. That's strictly my opinion. But can I prove it? No, not really. But I would think someone, am I muted? I don't think so. Can you guys hear me? Hello? You can hear me, right? Say yes or no. Can you hear me? Hello? No, you're not muted. Okay, good. You never know. What did you just say? I just missed that. You never know, Michelle and Reese, which police will show up from time to time. Not all will be reasonable. Very true. And that was the thing. Like D.O.A., I will say, said, I mean, he was pretty fierce with a lot of them, but he did say, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. There was something I was supposed to click. Okay, I clicked it. He did say, I don't know what he said, but I forgot because I had to get off onto that clicking thing. Well, he tried. That's what I was going to tell you. He tried to be nice. He was really ticked off at the guys that were mean to him. But one guy was really fair and nice. And he said, I really want to thank you because you really did a good job. And I thought that was smart. I watched him drive up the whole way today. So they knew he was coming. Okay. See, I wasn't really following it. I was doing other stuff. So he decided to go to San Francisco because of the swatting of another protester. Okay, since Scientology admitted that they called, then D.O.A. could have a case. It's like, of course he could have a case. The problem is the money. It's like taking on Scientology, and I've known some people who've had a lot of money and took on Scientology and they still didn't win. It's when you have billions and when they have billions and you don't, it's tricky. It's just tricky. And Hubbard says, his quote is get him in court, keep him in court, bankrupt him. And that's why I never sued him. Why does Scientology keep getting away with the false calls? Okay. Denver J was swatted in Salt Lake City today too. See, I think they're really getting violent. Scientology, knock it off. It's not okay. It's like this swatting stuff is going to come back to you. I promise you, it's going to come back to you. Whether we sue you one way or the other, it's going to come back to you. And it is not helping you. You are not acting like a church. You are not seeming like a church. You are being vicious and mafia-like. And that's exactly the side. That's why I left, because that's what I saw. And I thought, no, I didn't get into Scientology to join the mafia. I could have stayed in Chicago with that. And my parents weren't in the mafia, but I was around them enough, and I know how they act. And it's like, you guys got to change your ways. I'm serious. It's unbelievable to watch. If he can show intent across the board at multiple orgs, he may have a better case if he takes him to court. Okay, well, send him something on Facebook, about it, because these comments will go away. And you have a point. I wouldn't recommend it because I know how vicious they are. But, if you think it's a good idea, and I'm not saying it isn't, I'm just saying I wouldn't do it myself. I don't believe the cops ever confirmed CFS called them. Okay, one of the viewers called San Francisco Police Department dispatch, and they confirmed to her that the call came from inside the building. Okay, well, okay. That's a little bit more clear, because I thought, I just can't believe Scientology would admit that they called. But that makes sense, that it's sort of like, the people that were called said it came from that building. Okay. Okay. See, then they didn't quite admit it. Do you see what I mean? Okay. He decided to go to San Francisco. In Denver, Jay was swatted. Was he hurt? Is he okay? Zach was swatted tonight also at La Poubelle, and he's okay. At least he was the last time I saw him. Okay. If you can show, okay, all right, we did that. They have fleets of lawyers, right, willing to fight you until the money runs out. That's my point. That's my point. It's like these guys have millions and millions, and they have people that will give them more millions if they needed it. We don't. You know what I mean? So unless you had someone that would say, and even then it's very, very tricky because I just think it is for many, many reasons, personal reasons, your career, your life, their fair game stuff can get really nasty. And I just, I don't know. I don't think suing is the way to go. I don't. I think what Street said is right, which is really the best way is social media, because that is what's going to draw enough attention to this that they can't hide from. And that's what I think he's right. You can also file a small claims court or fill out IRS form 13909, a complaint against a religion, but no money, but still a strike. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, now wait a second. Okay, you watched them, and excuse me a minute. I'm looking. That's why you file it as a criminal and you let the federal government, who actually have more lawyers and more money than even Scientology, take it on. Now that's a point. That is a point. And because it's police, it would be federal, so, and it's criminal. So that's a good point. That is really, you should, our YRJ, should also write a note to D.O.A. and mention that, because that's a really good point. And I don't like this stuff to just go, come and go. It's like, if it's a really good point, you should at least mention it to him, and then he can do what he wants to do. Swatting will get them in so much trouble, and if they are found guilty, this will be the final nail in the coffin for F. Cinto. Well, we'll see. We have so many times thought this is the final nail, and they weasel out of it every time. That's why I'm very, as far as suing them. Yes, I'm so glad the Salt Lake City police were very nice to Jay. Okay, normally in Denver. Okay, good. Good to know. People that think suing Scientology is easy need to look into Paula Cooper's case. She was stuck fighting them for years. I mean, that is an excellent point. I mean, she nearly went to prison. If they had not had that break-in, if they had not had the Guardian's office break-in and found the programs, she was very close to going to prison. And that's why I'm saying they're evil as shit when they get mad, when they're in danger, they're like, wolves or something. And to me, it's like, you got to really look at, what part, which way do you want to go on this? For me, I would say number one, get a really good attorney, because if you have a really good attorney, they'll advise you. I'm just telling you what I think, but an attorney is number one that you would need to get. If CFS gets someone injured or killed, they will go down in flames. Maybe. That could be. They have done that before and they didn't go down in flames. So not necessarily always true, Wolfman. If you can prove it, yeah. But so, like, what about the lady on the ship, with Hubbard? I don't know if you ever read about this, but I think it was his mother, or I forget who it was, but she shot herself 3 times in the back and then once in the head. Now, how do you shoot yourself in the back and then shoot yourself in the head? It just didn't. It's like, no, she didn't commit suicide. They took care of her. And my friend in Florida, I think the same thing happened, but you know, they got away with it. He was out in the middle of Clearwater, Florida, reading the OT8 material. And I said, not a good idea, man. I mean, this is their biggest money making thing. It's their top secret thing. And you're reading it out in the middle of Clearwater. They're going to have to come after you. And then, bam, they came after him and hit his camera. And he called me up crying and he said, they hit my camera. What should I do? And I said, get out of town now. Get out of town. I'm telling you, they're going to have to do something because now you have it on film that they did that. And he didn't. And the next thing we knew, dead. Supposedly he put a gas thing from his car up into his window. And, I just know the guy. He didn't do that. They did it. But can I prove it? No. It could be a federal crime spreading multiple states and multiple municipalities. That's a good point, and it is spreading. So that's a good point. As a resident of Los Angeles County, I'm extremely fed up with an abusive, culty, trafficking organization that doesn't pay taxes, wastes the tax dollars, and I am forced to work hard to pay. I agree with you 100%. I really do. It's really frustrating. It is. Jay is fine. The police were great with him, actually. Good. Okay, Tori Magoo, this is from Nadia. On the police scanner, as I was listening, the dispatcher said the called the number back and it went to the C of S. It went straight to voicemail. I also called dispatch. All right. One of us protesters is going to get seriously hurt. Well, don't say that. Don't say that. We've been protesting. I've been protesting for 24 years and I have never been hurt. But I protest very safely. Do you know what I mean? I don't go places where I know I'm going to be harmed. Just like La Boubelle, I won't go there. Why? Because it's a little thin sidewalk, and I know it would take them one drunk person that they could give them $100 and push me out in the street, and I'd be, and they've done that to me. So they didn't push me out in the street, but they pushed me down a stair. And if John McGee hadn't caught me, I would have been dead or seriously paralyzed. So I know that I protest safely and I protest with people. I never go by myself, and I protest, with other people and in a safe area. And I try to be kind and compassionate because I know from being in and being sent out to handle the critics, when people were just yelling at me, I never heard a thing. I never heard anything. I mean, it was just like nothing. I had what I call plexiglass, and it just didn't come. I mean, they were like, they had all their facts, but I wasn't hearing them. Why? Because I couldn't. To me, they were the evil people. Do you see what I mean? So now when I'm out there, because I know I'm an evil person, right? But when I talk to them, you can see they just can hardly believe it. It's like, you're so nice. You know what I mean? And that's happened to me with Scientologists where they say, God, I just can't believe you're a declared suppressive person. And it's like, I know, me neither. Not for Scientology. I can't. But I'm proud of it as far as all the SPs that are out. Okay, so let's see. The fleet of attorneys is a really key point. It is. As a resident, okay, I got that. Because D.O.A.'s stream, okay, you heard someone call in. Ooh, you heard them call in the gun call. Okay, wow. So since this has crossed multiple states, it's a federal crime. This is a current issue with the federal government. Swatting is very dangerous. Thank you, Noman, for that. Or flagrant queefs. That was you who said that, I think. No, you said they have the fleets of warriors, lawyers. Noman said, I loved your content for years and years. First time ever I got to catch a live. All right. You're the best. I think I probably read your post on alt religion Scientology 30 years ago. Well, thank you. Yep. I know I was really crazy then. When I was, well, before I left, I was really crazy. And then once I got out, it was just a totally different thing. But then everybody turned on me. So it was really weird. Thank God for Andreas. And then Stacy, Bob, and Jesse later. Jay is fine. The police were great with him, actually. Okay, thank you, Nancy. And the ethical tailor, I love that nickname. That is so great. Being friendly when protesting is the best way to act and make changes in people's minds, I believe. Me too. See, that was the one guy that I heard, and he was the one who asked, Can I ask you a question? I said, Yeah. If you're free, why can't you read certain books? And he said it really nicely, and he really wanted to know. And I said, Oh, I can read whatever I want. I just don't want to read certain books. And he said, Okay. And he walked away. And then he came back a little while longer and he said, I still have to ask you though, if you're free, why can't you read certain books? And he just kept asking me that, but it was really with this, he wanted an answer. Do you see what I mean? It wasn't like, why can't you read certain books? Where it's just like a big make wrong. It wasn't that at all. And so I always try to talk to people that way, whether they're security guards or Scientologists or staff members or Sea Org, whatever it is. I try to, treat them the way I would want someone to treat me. And I know it doesn't work to yell at them. It just doesn't. Now, that doesn't mean you can't yell, because like sometimes, like now, because they're never outside. So we kind of have to use, megaphones and stuff like that. But still, I would think of things to say that are kind of, they might click with them. It's tricky. They have, okay, I've been watching your older videos and you were great then as well. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I made a lot of videos. I really did. I wasn't going to. I told you guys that. I wasn't going to make a video. I wasn't going to speak out. I wasn't going to pick it. I was just leaving under the radar. But by the time I went from LAX to Tampa, they had turned me into a critic. It was just sort of like, I had no idea they were like that. I really didn't. It's shocking. It's really shocking. And I think people in still they're like me, like how I was. They're in the Truman Show. Everything's wonderful in there. All the people outside are wogs, and you don't need to worry about them because we have people handling them, which they don't. Obviously, this swatting shit is awful. And probably most people don't have a clue about swatting. I didn't know that. I didn't even know the name when someone said we were swatted. I said, I don't even know what that is. And I'm out, you know what I mean? But I don't think it's that common unless you're maybe in the gaming industry, because apparently it's there. I'm going to start being friendlier. Good, Ashley. Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. I can't tell you. I mean, that's why Odo on Easter, I could talk to him because I have spent hours talking to Odo years ago when they could talk. And I've told him my story. He hasn't shared a whole lot with us, but we've been able to talk to him and, in a very kind way. So when I saw him, I went, "Oh no, it's Tori." And he went, "I know." And he kind of smiled. And somebody later said he smiled. And I said, "I know, because we've known each other for years." Drew and I used to always drive around like, is Odo here? Did he die? Is he on the RPF? We just didn't know. We were always worried about him. Okay, let's see. Our YRB, this protest is like a symphony. It has its noisy parts with percussion and cymbals, and then come in the flutes and the melodies. That's a very good point, because there are really good points to it where it flows along. And then there are others where it's really, really different. Good point. Just me. Question. Okay, here's a question. Okay. Do you know Greta Van Susteren? I did. and her husband did my when I was in my arbitration with my husband and the guys he was working for, and we won, and then they canceled the whole thing. So we had to pay. We didn't pay. We never did. But it was like they were supposed to pay us, and they never did. But yeah, I know her. I think it's Greta. Yeah, and yeah, that's why I asked about her husband, lawyer John Cole. That's right, John Cole. Because I was thinking it wasn't Van Susteren. It was John Cole. Yeah, he was the guy who was the attorney for our arbitration and did a great job. We won, but I don't know where to unclick this. Odo did talk to me. First of all, when you're going to say something like that, just me, ask. Don't just say what happened in my world. Wait. Okay. Okay, good. Right, we got that. Let's see. That was your way of asking a question. Okay, what was the question? Well, about Odo. No, he did talk to me. It wasn't much, but he said hi and he smiled, and they all said they'd never seen him smile. So to me, that's a big step. You got to take it when you can take it. Do you know what I mean? These guys are really, tight-shipped now. You can tell they're not allowed to talk at all. So I felt I could tell between he and I, we had a communication, whether it was verbal and we were talking about it, or it was just a communication of recognizing each other. But we did. Okay. Is this a question? The elderly lady that wanted to hit D.O.A. with her cane the other night is Kay Tornberg. She was actor Kristen Lloyd's Taxi, Back to the Future, second wife. Really? And she was going to hit him? I missed that one. I totally missed that one, where she was going to hit him with his cane. She wanted to hit him with a cane. Wow. See, that's what I'm saying. These guys are more violent than they used to be. Okay, so here's one. Oh, wait. Several judges, elected officials, and famous people have been getting swatted in just the last couple of years. That's where I first heard about it. Really? Judges and elected officials? Now that's shocking to me. I did not know. Wow. That's got to be spooky to be a judge and get swatted. Wow. Okay, and this one is Charles. Don't think the elderly lady is a Scientologist because she opposed them when they wanted to rename Tamarind Avenue for LRH back in 1994. Interesting. Well, but that doesn't mean she isn't. It could just mean, oh, there's D.O.A. Hi. Hey, we've been talking about you, young man. She was going to hit her friend. Oh, is she a Scientologist, D.O.A.? Do you know? Good to see you. I'm glad. I hope you're okay. We've been talking about you and your swatting and San Francisco, and it turns out it wasn't directly the Church of Scientology that said they called it in. It was whoever, how did she read it? Now I've got to remember it. Whoever said that, can you post it again so he can see it? Because that would be really good. Because I can't get up there. I don't believe the cops ever confirmed CFS called them. One of the viewers called San Francisco Police Department dispatch, and they confirmed to her that the call came from inside the building. Thank you. That was it, Bart. Thank you very much. Yeah. He was going to hit her friend. Wow. That's pretty vicious. And this is Mrs. Withholding. Do you know whatever happened to Cat Cole? Cola. I don't. Cal Cole. I don't. I don't even know who that is. I knew John Cole because I told you he did the arbitration for my husband and title recon tracking, which was the Scientology business he ran. And we won, but then they canceled the whole arbitration that night. And I thought, how can this happen? And I realized what happened is he probably called Miscavige, and he was the top. Craig Jensen is the top donator at Flag. There's a big sign, top donator Craig and Sally Jensen, and the second donators are Bill and Ruth Bowen, who were the head of the company that we did the arbitration with and won. So I think Bowen called Miscavige or someone near him and said, get us out of this or we're not donating. And whoosh, that was the first time I ever knew you could pay to get a policy or some kind of tack canceled. I mean, it was really spooky. It really was. Okay, now this is good. My ears were ringing nicely, comfortable in a hotel. Oh, good. So you got a good hotel and you like it. Good. Tori, I know the name of the guy that called from C of S. His first name was Mike. I'm going to record it. Okay. How do you know it? I know the name of the guy that called from C of S. Really? Okay. Obviously, I know diddly squat about Odo, but his face at Easter reads stuck. Like he'd love to talk to you about how to start life outside, but he would have to leave his whole family. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I think you're right on that. It's just he and I know him more than you do. So how you can have a communication with someone without any words. And he and I as soon as I said, "Oh no," he looked over and I could see him smile. And it was just a little communication between the two of us, but it was cool. It was good for me. I was happy. And I know if I run into him again, if I catch him somewhere where he's not with all these people, I could probably talk to him. Maybe. Who knows? D.O.A., they said that it might be a federal case. Yeah, that's what these guys tonight were talking about. It might be a federal case. YRB, are you still here? Could you post that thing to D.O.A. that parking and food here is absolutely insane? I bet. Yeah, that's tricky. I'm bilingual. You are? LOL. Who said it's a federal case? RYB said it could be a federal case because they've crossed state lines doing this. So I think that's what he was saying. Let's see if I don't know if he's still on. I told him to send you a Facebook message or an email. So since this has crossed multiple states, it's a federal crime. This is a current issue with the federal government. Okay, good to know, Saul. Thank you. Okay, now I got to find out where that was. I don't see him. I don't know how to. Oh, we'll just go like this. D.O.A., we sent you a call before they showed up and more info. All right. Okay. He's checking now. All right, good. Now he just said this maybe 20 minutes ago, so he may not have gotten home and written it to you yet, just so you know. I mean, it may still be coming its way, but it was from YRB, and I don't know what his real name is. But not Nadia, that's interesting that you know the name of the guy that called from C of S. His first name was Mike. I'm going to record it. I wonder if it's Yachty, because Yachty used to often go by Mike Smith, and that was one of his fake names. And he would be on something like this. I wouldn't. Bill, if you're listening to me now, you have got to stop this. You can stop this. And you need to. This is violent. It's really criminal. It's not okay. And you can say, well, what we're doing is not okay. But we're protesting. We have a right to protest. Swatting is different. It's not protesting. It's very, very violent. And it's wasting a lot of taxpayers' money. So, all right, let's see. D.O.A, they said that it might be a federal case. Yeah. Yep. Like I said, I'm not big on suing the Church of Scientology, but like he said, the point is it would go through the government and they would have to pay for it. And they have good lawyers, I think, maybe. FBI has a specific task force for squatting and false bomb reports and reports on guns. Ooh, good point. Very good point. Well, that's a good one for D.O.A to know. And yeah, and swatting is dangerous. It is. That's a really good point. Okay. I was just watching D.O.A.'s swatting in San Francisco. What dicks moving the camera? I know, it's very dirty. And they were mean. They really were. I mean, they really hurt his arms. And it's like if he doesn't have a gun, why, they really kept him tied up for a while, for I think about a half an hour. I was just amazed. It was like I was writing on that thing, take off his handcuffs. Okay, this is from Charles. Should have added that Tamarind Avenue is the street that runs along the west side of Celebrity Center. People in the Franklin Village neighborhood opposed renaming it for Elleridge 30 years ago. I can see that. I really can, because that's a very, the whole hotel is a very old classic hotel that they gave me a tour of it years and years ago before, when they were just moving in, but we went up on the roof and she showed me all these palm trees. And I was like, all right, and what's the deal there? And she said, well, these old hotels, that's how they would kind of direct people to different areas. They'd line the streets with these palm trees. And so she said, you can always see how big the area is because the palm trees are around them. And it was interesting to see. It was like, oh yeah, you don't quite notice it because you just think they're just trees on the street, but they're not. They're really part of the Manor Hotel where I lived when I met Harold, my husband. We both were on the 5th floor. Yeah. Okay. Thanks to the passersby that moved your camera back on you. Yeah, those girls were nice. They really were. They also took his phone back to his van, and they got photographs of these police, picking through his van. I was like, get out of his van, what is this shit? It's supposed to be a gun. I'll send him the address and information for reporting. Okay, thank you. Good, there you are. He came on a little while ago. I think he's looking in his emails to see because I said you're going to send something to him. So anyway, I said it might take you a while because we were just talking about it. So there you go. So I believe in safe picketing. It's like many people throughout history have been killed protesting, for violently protesting. And it's just not a way to go. I mean, I was in San Francisco with the Vietnam War, and then, all Kent State happened, and those kids got killed. And it's just sort of like you have to kind of play your cards and know, okay, what do I want to do? What's the purpose of it? And how far do I want to go? Do you know what I mean? And that's just the way I am. And I try to be kind, because kindness goes a long way. It really does. And meanness, I don't think helps. I really don't. But I get, if somebody's got your arms tied behind your back, you get pissed off. It's like, I totally get that. I mean, that's a different thing, because it's hard to be nice when somebody's really being that violent with you, and incorrectly violent too. All right. Well, I'm glad D.O.A. came on for a minute. Okay, now I'm so glad we have so many smart viewers in this community. Me too. Well done to all of you who helped D.O.A. Yeah, it's wonderful. It really is. Um it's important, because see, that's the thing you should know, Scientology. You're out of your league. These people, there's too many. At this point, there's just way too many. You can't win. You're shrinking, and we're expanding every day. I mean, when I started just watching Jessica, and I think that was at Christmas time, there was Jessica and Streets LA. That was it. That's all I knew for live streamers. That's all I knew. And then by Easter, I mean, within a couple of weeks, there were 20 that I knew. And by Easter, there were 50. And now there's over 100 that are live streamers. And you can go to Fluffy Squirrel UK, and she has a list of all the live streamers. So if you want to find out who's live streaming where, or if you have someone that you know that wants to picket or protest or live stream, but they don't want to do it alone, she has which city. I think by city she has where they are. So anyway, we're a good group of people. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one, Marie J. Well done on all of you for helping D.O.A. Yeah, it's very good. And good for him. I'm glad he got through it, and he got into a hotel, and he's safe, and that's good. Now, this is something I'm not quite sure what you're saying. They do? Is it like mandatory reporting? That, I guess you're just talking to Lorraine. So we don't know what she's talking about. I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk to you about. Do you guys have any questions or any comments or any things you want to say? It scared me to see D.O.A. It really did. And when I went back and saw it, it really scared me. Okay, serious question. How has Miscavige not been shot yet, given how many people he hurt? Yeah, I know. It's one of those questions that, whenever there's like creepy people, because good people, you see, like JFK, his brother, stuff like that, Martin Luther King, you see these really good people that get killed. And then you see people like Miscavige. I remember someone that we knew said to who did he say it to? He said to Bob Minton, because Bob Minton was talking about free speech and, Miscavige and how creepy he was and everything. And he said, why don't you pay $10,000 and you hire one of the mafia and they'll take them out. I mean, that's what he said. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy said it. And Bob was like, no, I'm a free speech advocate. And, now he's dead. But, I don't think he would have done that anyway. But it is kind of surprising that somebody hasn't. When you think of, John Lennon and all the different people that just shouldn't have been killed, for various different reasons. So, all right, this is from That Witch. D.O.A, we appreciate everything you do, Scotty. Love and respect for you and Tori. Yeah, I agree. I really love him. He's a wonderful person. And he's been a great addition to my life. It's been really fun. All right, Kay's in the house. Tori, were you protesting in front of flag front steps around 1989? Probably. Probably. I mean, I wasn't protesting as a critic. I was protesting with Scientology. I think they had one of those big, massive. It ended up being a big flap, whatever it was. It was, um, if it's what I'm thinking of, the city was picketing, and I think 1989. Wait, I got to think 1989. You protesting? I think 79 for sure. 89, I'm not sure. But I know they had one big picket that all these people dressed up in costumes and weird outfits. And I just said, no, I'm not going to do that. And I went with them, but I didn't dress up in a weird costume. And it was a flap. Oh my God. Scientology got in big trouble for doing that. Because, of course, the town thought they looked just stupid, and they did. Okay, now let's see what this is. Jay's swatting today in Salt Lake City was so how I wish these calls were handled. Yeah, I know. And Ron Miscavige back in the building. You're going to have to clarify that. Ron Miscavige is dead. So did you mean then Ron Miscavige? Okay, now here's another one. Remember when Rinder rented a helicopter and buzzed the flag opening? I don't, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I just don't think I was in on that. Okay. And all the streamers are reaching hundreds of thousands of people every day. The more you know. Yeah, exactly. That's my thing. That's my point, is that it's like Scientology doesn't get that it isn't 6 people outside their building. It's 6 people with hundreds and many thousands of people on their streams, and they're all watching what's going on. And it's like, what kind of knucklehead would keep doing this kind of thing? It's very difficult for me to understand. It really is. But it has been since when I was in, and I said, you are creating your own enemies. That was me saying that to them way back then. So I know that, yeah, you're right, Eddie. And Acer 211. All right, let's see. DM hasn't been taken out because he has the LAPD in his pocket to protect him and is an elusive troll. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a big part of it, is both of those things. And who's going to do it? It's not something that I would do. I don't like the guy, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so Jessica and William aren't happy about a person from Aftermath Foundation complaining about the way they're protesting Scientology. It's the same woman who's criticizing Aaron and SPTV. Really? Jessica and William aren't happy about the person from Aftermath Foundation complaining. So who's the person from the Aftermath Foundation who's complaining about how we're picketing? It's the same woman who's criticizing Aaron and SPTV. I don't know. To me, I use the old Jesse Prince thing, step away from the stove. It's like those kind of people, you could just keep in with them forever. And that's Scientology's goal. Good. You keep round and round and round and round, and, it doesn't ever go anywhere. So to me, it's like move on with your life and do what you want to do, and make it a good day, because they're not going to make it a good day. You know that. And you're never going to get rid of them, that kind of person. They just burn out. That's what happens. That's my view of it. It's like bullies. They burn out. Or like, I had a really cool story I'll tell you about bullies. I was selling pens years ago in a mall, and it was where big gang members were in this mall, and there was no security. So they were stealing my pens. So I had to do my own security. So I was just be like, look, as part of my pitch, I would say, look, there's some gang members in here and they steal my pens. So I want you guys to watch it while I'm telling you about the pens, right? So it immediately screwed up the gang a little bit. And then if they got real loud, I'd just do this big like huddle, 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 get everybody. And I'd say, all right, look, I got to sell my pens. I don't know what you guys do for money, but you guys stay at that end of the mall and I'll be out here, and let's just keep our spaces. And they agreed to that. So then it was okay. But it was still pretty weird, right? Because there was no security. So I went to the Glendale Galleria and they had no problem. They had no gang members, nothing. And so I went to the head of the Glendale Galleria and I said, all right, what's up? Why don't you have any gang members there? And they said, we don't allow them. They have to come in twos. If they come in threes, they all get kicked out. And I thought, now that's smart. He said, because their only power is in volume, right? So I went to the head of the thing, and my booth was right by Santa Claus. And so I went to the head of it and I told him about this. And he was sort of like, he didn't really care. And I said, okay, you can not care. But here's the deal, man. This is how much I care. I am sitting next to Santa Claus. And if you don't handle this with the gang so that everyone is safe, because the security weren't safe, the guards weren't safe, the stores weren't safe, it was like everyone was in fear because of this gangs. And I said, if you don't put this in, I'm going to get every single mother that goes to Santa Claus to never come shop here again. And he put it in, and we had a very Merry Christmas. I don't know how I got onto that, but anyway, there's different ways to handle bullies. All right. Okay, so here's this. Jessica, this is the one we said. It's the same woman who's criticizing Aaron. Okay. All right. And from what I've heard, a lot of people are very pissed off at Stephanie on the Aftermath board. I heard that too. I did hear that. Because she's been apparently attacking. Yeah, this is what this person is saying. She's been attacking Aaron, Jenna, and other second gens. So why have her on a board? I mean, that just doesn't seem smart. I mean, didn't Aaron start the second SPTV Aftermath thing? I mean, he was kicked out of the one, and I thought he started a new one that was going to be a safe space. So this lady obviously isn't helping that goal. So I don't know. I'm not part of it, so I don't really know. But it's too bad when that kind of stuff happens. Okay, so you said watch Liz Gale's video about Stephanie from the Aftermath criticizing Jenna. Okay. All right, that's good. We can all watch that. Okay, here. It's Stephanie Hutchinson, and she's posting it on her blog. Okay. All right. And here's the community post on D.O.A.'s site shows Jenna Miscavige response to Stephanie from Aftermath. Will Well said, Jenna. Okay, good. Good. So they're working it out. It sounds like they're working it out. I don't think we're going to work it out here, but they're working it out there. That's good. All right. Now here's this from Lorraine. Police forces have to report swatting to FBI. Good. Good to know. So how do we check if that's been happening? We got to check. You're amazing, Tori. Thank you for being you. You're welcome, Christy. Thank you for a nice compliment. So we have to make sure somebody makes sure that we check with the FBI because they can say, who what we need is like the locations. I've been saying this forever anyway, since I watched the first swatting and saw 3 fire trucks, an ambulance, and police cars. And I thought, look at how much money this is wasting. Why don't we add up how much money it costs for a fire truck to go from the fire department to Scientology and back? And then times that by 3, add on the ambulance from wherever they come from to Scientology and back, and then the police cars, and add up how much money that is being wasted every single time. Because every time they go, oh, I guess it wasn't that. Oh, I guess it wasn't a gas leak. Oh, you didn't have a gun. But in the meantime, there's an incredible amount of abuse that goes on. And it's not okay to keep it going. So we do need to figure out how much money is being, like where, when, who was involved, and we need to make sure, was that reported? Was that swatting at this location reported? Do you know what I mean? Because I'll bet you anything it's not. Okay, this is Poof 911. Obviously, I know. Oh, this is. Okay. I think we already talked about that. He decided to go to San Francisco, the swatting overnight. Yeah, we talked about that. All right. Let's see if we did this one. I think we did that one. Yeah, that was about Odo. Police forces have to report swatting. Yeah, but how do we tell when they have? How do we know that it's been reported? That's my question. What if viewers start reporting all of the swattings we are witnessing? See, that's what I think would be good, because that way you get a volume of reports. And I just don't think that. And I say carbon copy it to the mayor, carbon copy it to the senator, carbon copy it to the media, right? And when you start carbon copying that many people about this, somebody has to say something. You see what I mean? It isn't like, well, we didn't know. No, you did know. And we have a copy of the letter that we sent you that said we are, this was a swatting that happened on this date. This is what happened. It was a false one, or, we could do all 6 of them and say all of these around Scientology are all false, and then send a carbon copy to the mayor and a carbon copy to the senator and a carbon copy even to the governor. We could. And all the police departments around there. That I say that because my husband managed an apartment building around Scientology, where they are now, where Celebrity Center is. And there were a bunch of prostitutes and drug addicts and stuff like that. And we kept calling the police and they did nothing. We'd call the police, they do nothing. So finally, the guy who owned the building was a Scientologist who'd left. And he said, write a KR, which is where you carbon copy it all the way up lines. So we did. And I'm telling you, the next day, the police were on it. He said, right, do every single police department around that police department that's not doing it, and send it to the mayor and send it to the governor. You know what I mean? So it's like it really goes places. And it smoked, man. I mean, they called us every day. Are you okay? Do you need anything else? We got rid of everything. It was really interesting. So I know that works. And I also myself wrote the president, carbon copied it to his wife, carbon copied it to the mayor, I think, and the group that I was having trouble with, and the senator. And the senator wrote me a letter back saying, Here's your 3 checks that you're owed. Please don't ever write the president again. There, she said, here's a form. If you need help, use this form. So I know we can use that form. I mean, I don't have it now, but we can ask for it. And some of these guys, they can't just keep doing nothing. You know what I mean? Police forces, because the police force has to be reporting it to the FBI. And if they're not, they're in trouble. I think that's a good idea, that which share that everybody starts reporting this stuff, because then, okay, wait, sorry. The other day, Natalie Webster showed someone has all the info needed to give the police when swatted to make them report to the FBI. Can't remember who. D.O.A. should talk to Natalie. That's a good point, because D.O.A. probably is the biggest. He's been swatted more than anybody else. So that's a good point. FBI has a civil rights violation reporting too. Exactly. All right, now here's this. I report the Church of Scientology for human trafficking, and all swatting should be forwarded. Doesn't mean they are. We need to report. Yeah, I think that's right. I do. I think we all need to. And this is from our YRB. Wait. Message sent to D.O.A. by email complete. Okay, good. Thank you for that, YRB. Tax them and all like, let's say ilk, and all like ilk. Okay. Yeah. I mean, part of the big problem is they don't pay taxes. Okay, now wait. Okay, here's this. Tori on YouTube, Utology on YouTube has a video explaining how to report swatting to FBI. Okay, good. Well, there you go. And it's on Utology. Okay, good. So that's the thing that needs to happen, I think. Most effective letters to officials are very to the point, no longer than 1 page. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, mine have always been very short. But boy, they were effective. I'm telling you. I loved it. It was really fun, especially writing the president. I loved that. And copying Mrs. Obama, and copying, the mayor and the senator. And, it was really fun. It was fun to get a response. And that happened to me another time. Anyway, I'm that way. I will take it up and say, this is not right. If something is not right, you've got to report it. Because there's no way they can slide out of it all the time, and they will. But if you report it, then that's a different thing. Okay. Here's this from Charles. Streamer Zach posted some of the fake 911 received by LAFD on his blog. They're heavily edited, but it's the same younger male voice on almost all the calls. Interesting. LAPD isn't responding to his request. Yeah, typical. But that's why if we start reporting, I just think things will change. Now, did I already say this, Tori? Channel Points for Life has a video on how to write to your local governor. It also shows those outside the U.S. can write one too, all in regards to the IRS tax exempt status. Okay, good. And that's Points for Life. That's their YouTube site. How to write to the local governor. Okay. I think the main thing is people doing it. I really do. All right. Well, that's good. how are the likes? Does anybody know? Has anybody checked on that? We have 190 people here. That's good. This has been a good night. I'm glad we got to discuss this, and we came up with some good solutions. We've got to start reporting. That's the key thing. And then we will see. All right. Well, it looks like you don't. So I'm going to just say thank you to all of you for coming on, and have a wonderful day tomorrow. All right. Okay, that's all. There you go. Oh, okay. You just finished watching D.O.A.'s live stream. People should be punished for making fake calls. Yeah, it's a good idea to watch it because it's really scary to see. I think it's sort of like if this is the this is the video, it's about. I'm not good at this. I can't do it. Anyway, it's about a halfway into it is the swatting. You can kind of just scoot along and all of a sudden you see, whoa, wait a minute. What is this? What if the viewers start reporting we are witnessing on the streams? What if viewers start reporting all of it? That's what we're saying that we need to do. PTS for life. Not sure what that has to do with the price of eggs, but we need 30 more likes. All right. Come on, you guys, please. And thank you. Who hasn't liked this here? Come on. Good night to all. Thanks so much for all coming. I agree. So let's see. Okay. All right. I know something that we can do while we're waiting for the likes to go up. Can anybody teach me how to make those little hearts? Yeah, you have to make sure you're subscribed too. So does anybody know how to make these little purple hearts? Because I don't have a thing where you can, where it shows where you can just, how on other things you can just click on them. You'll teach me. Okay, good. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, then that's it for tonight. I think we'll let it go because it's been a long day. It really has. Tori, get with Natalie. She has the info you're looking for. All right. Thank you, Jamie. I will do it. You twisted my arm off. I'll do it. All right. Good. Okay. All right. Good. Oh, I think they're saying PTS is not points, but Jeff from Canada for PTS for life. Ah, okay. Good to know. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that because I wasn't quite sure what she was posting there. All right. So PTS for life is a guy that I think is on YouTube, right? Look at how far we've come. Wow. It's really good. All right. Well, anyway, I thank you guys for coming on. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. And D.O.A., we send you our wishes and our love. And anyone who's having any surgery, Tori has Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal since no monetization yet. Yeah, you can use PayPal's the best one because then I can thank you. But any one of them you can use. But that's good to know that Natalie has the info that I'm looking for. And let's send Tony, my Tony, a bunch of love. See, if I knew how to do hearts, I would send him a whole bunch of hearts. But I don't. And I don't know how to get rid of this. Just make sure you're subscribed. I will teach you. Okay. Get with Natalie. And I think they're saying, okay, good. Good. Yeah, hearts to my Tony. Yeah, and to anyone having surgery. There's a couple of people that said they were having surgery. So we're sending our love to you, hoping that you're better soon. What if the viewers start reporting swatting we are witnessing on the streams? That's what we're saying. We're saying report it and make sure that they're, we can ask, has this been reported to the FBI? That's what I think, because we don't know. They can say, oh yeah, the police have to, but did they? We don't know. But we can send in a report and at the end say we want to know, yes or no, did they actually report this to the FBI? And that's going to push things along. It will. Because they may have to report it to the FBI, but that doesn't mean they are. Oh, this is good. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Buy me a coffee is a good one too. Love it. That's good. That's a good one. I have to put that up there. I don't know how to do it, but I'll learn and then I will. Okay, you guys. Good night. That's a neat thing for if you're deaf. This is how you clap. I love that. I have a few friends who are deaf, and they just have amazing, skills. I'd love to learn how to, sign language and really do it. Anyway, another thing to do for another day. But thank you, love Maddie, for reminding me that Natalie has an address to send cards to. To send cards to? Okay. Ah, good. And she can tell us how to make cops report swatting to the FBI. All right, good, good. Well, we can go over and bug her. All right, well, thank you. That witch share. All right, you guys will have a wonderful day tomorrow, and thank you for coming tonight. And I love you. Peace out.